Hello everyone, and welcome to today's video. I'll be talking about cell references in Excel. There are two types of cell references in Excel. One is relative reference, two, absolute reference. In relative reference, formulas can easily be copied and pasted from one cell to another. Relative reference are the default and probably the most you have used. So in this example, I want to know the total price for each item in this invoice. As you can see here, these are items. I have keyboard, mouse, scanner, all of that up to video camera. And this place is the unit price, this is the quantity, and here this column is empty, this is the total price. Like I earlier said, I want to know the total price for each item in this invoice. So what I'll be doing is to make my calculation here. First I'll put my equal sign and then I'll calculate, which is B5 multiplied by C5, and then press the enter key, and this is my value. So I'm going to use the fill handle, which is a tiny square there, and autofill to the last part. So you can see here what I have done is, if I double click at this point, you would see that this is the formula B5 multiplied by C5. Alright, so if I double click on the next one, you will see that I also have B6 multiplied by C6. So the changing of the cell addresses in the formula as it is copied down is referred to as relative reference. The references doesn't have to be in the same row, they can be anywhere in the sheet. So if I double click at another cell, you will see it copied the same reference, the formula that I have initially down, but the cell addresses changes. So that is what is called relative reference, and I'm sure most of you are used to this formula. There are times you may not want the cell references to change. In this case, you have to use the second part of referencing in Excel, which is absolute referencing. So if you look here, I have added in row 13, I have added the tax rate. So in B13, the tax rate here is 15%. And I have also added another column in column D, which is sales tax. So here I'm going to be calculating the sales tax, and you will see how the absolute reference works. So to calculate for my sales tax, I'm going to click and put the equal sign using the tax rate here. So I'm going to open a bracket, and here is my B5 multiplied by C5. I'll close the bracket and then multiply by my tax rate, which is B13. Now it doesn't matter where the cell address is, it could be anywhere here. Alright, so once I have multiplied it by my tax rate, I'll press the enter key. So now I have my cell tax here, so I will use my fill handle here, the same thing I did in the other example. Click, hold and drag through, which is my autofill, to copy the address. So now what happened? So this is where you have to use your absolute reference. Alright, so what happened is, when the formula is copied, the cell reference or address continues to refer to the original cell. The original cell is this one. To prevent this from happening, the column letter or row number from changing, a $sign is placed before the column letter or the row number. So I'm going to show you how this works. So I'm going to take off the zeros, which is not correct, and apply the absolute referencing. So I'll click on the original cell where my formula is, then go to my formula bar. Before, I'm going to add a dollar sign before Control Shift on my keyboard. I'm going to press that to add my dollar sign before the column and before the row number. So if you look there, I have added my dollar sign. This is called absolute referencing. So I've made my formula absolute. I'm not going to press my enter key. Right. So now I can then use my fill handle, copy the formula down to the rest of the cells. So here I have successfully calculated for this column, which is sales tax, by making this particular column absolute, by adding a dollar sign before the column letter and a dollar sign before the row number. So I can now proceed and calculate for the total price for the invoice. So what I need to do is start with my equal sign, open bracket, B5 multiply by the quantity here, which is C5. Then I'll close my bracket and then add plus the sale tax for this particular item. That will be D5. Then I'll press my enter key. So this is the correct value that I want for the total price for this particular item keyboard. So once I get this, I'm now going to use the fill handle and copy the formula down to the rest of the cells. So the emphasis here is on column D, on how to use absolute referencing. I hope you do like this video. Please drop your comments in the comment section below and let me know what you didn't understand. I'll see you in my next video for more text tips.